Yeah, first, yeah, what's your name, and yeah, what would you say to someone as what you do when you're introduce them yourself to like someone at a party or something?
Okay, well, my name is Steve Case,
Yeah,
singer-songwriter. um, yeah, I guess these days it sounds weird, but I am a musician by
yeah,
trade. I come from a background of admin at a university. Wasn't my thing,
yeah,
but I did that for 10 years. And then I hit the road and found this place at Lake Argyle
yeah. Okay.
and sang for my supper for what was meant to be one night, and 7 years later, still here doing it.
Yeah,
So,
okay. So, what
yeah.
you're like here full time kind of thing, or?
Yeah, for the dry season.
Yeah,
So normally arrive around about April and take off around about September.
yeah, okay.
So yeah, 5 nights a week for 5 months. So it's not a bad gig.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, you were saying you didn't admin. So, what was it like as a kid? Were you always around music? Yeah. How did music come into your life?
Yeah, it's always. I think it's in my DNA. I've always loved music. My dad, he loves his music as well, and he sang a bit and played a bit of guitar, but I don't think he had the confidence that I do to do what I do. But I certainly got my love of music from him, and our house always had music and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, the trick for me was to try and find an outlet for that love of music. So I never had the confidence until I was in my mid-20s to actually pursue being on stage. So
Yeah.
I just got involved in community radio, and I'd go and see bands and stuff like that. So I just love music. So
Yeah.
then I got into songwriting once I was more confident
Yeah.
with
Okay.
myself,
Yeah.
and then it just sort of snowballed from there.
Yeah. So, what was that sort of music you grew up with? Because you played a very diverse range of songs last night with a very similar style with every song.
Yeah.
So, like you played Johnny Williamson, which is
Yeah.
one of my favourites, but
Yeah.
then old time rock and roll and stuff like that, all on acoustic. So,
Yeah.
it's really cool. But like, what was the music you were listening to or interested in as a kid or growing up?
Growing up, Dad was into American country.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so whether I wanted to or not, I kind of had a lot of that to listen to. But Dad loves all sorts of music, so that's what I grew up with was, yeah, all that kind of 60s, 70s stuff. But then as soon as I could, afford my own little radio, I was just tuned into just commercial radio from, young fella right through to my teens, and I discovered Triple J and
Yeah.
so yeah, I love all sorts of music. Even though I only play acoustic here, I'll listen to anything from metal to hip hop to opera, anything. If I listen to anything long enough, I'll end up loving it.
Yeah, all right.
I just love music.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah.
And so you grew up in Wagga Wagga?
Yep.
And so what kind of student were you like at school? And did you have a particular kind of mindset of what you're going to do when you grow up?
I was a pretty good student. I like music. I don't think I was all that talented, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist,
Yeah.
so I just keep trying until I get it right. So my grandfather came from the land, so he was on a property. So my early, probably around teenager years, I was really good at agriculture at school, so I just thought I'd somehow get into agriculture, and I got early entry into uni into agriculture, and then literally the last minute I thought, not sure agriculture's my thing, so I decided to do an arts degree instead.
Yeah, okay.
Which is the complete opposite.
Yep.
And then I was going to go into high school teaching from that, but then I did my first prac and realised teaching wasn't for me.
Yeah, okay.
And I just fell into a job at the university that I studied at, and it was only meant to be over summer, but 10 years later I was still there, and I wasn't happy. I was trying to get the balance right between my music and normal adult work life, and it wasn't working, so that was when I decided to hit the road and follow my passion for what was meant to be 12 months, and 7 years later, I'm
Yeah, right.
still living the dream.
That's awesome. So what was it? You bought a van? Like, what was the setup around that? How did
Yeah.
you finally say, all right, now's the time to just hit the road?
Well, I'd been thinking about it for about a year, but the catalyst was in this job. I'd actually moved to Brisbane for a couple of years, and I was in a job there, and I accidentally sent an email to my boss that was meant to go to my co-worker.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all that complimentary about the boss. So things were quite awkward for a while there, and I'd been thinking about leaving and hitting the road anyway, but things got so awkward in that office.
But you had it so black and white already.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the time, it was like, ooh. But now, because it was the catalyst to where I am now, I must have meant to have, sent that email.
That's classic. So then you just thought, all right, now's the time.
Yeah. So I sold my car, bought a van, and
Like an old school van, or like?
No, it was.
You weren't one of those hippie, like V-dubs or anything?
No,
like that?
I wish. I wanted something a bit more reliable because I'd never really ventured past the East Coast before. So I thought, if I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere, I don't want to be really searching for V-dub parts. So yeah, I got a second-hand one. It was it was like a family car, people mover kind of thing. But yeah, it was my constant companion for about the next 5 years, and it represented my change in life. It was perfect size for all my music gear, mattress in the back, food and stuff underneath, and just
That's all you need, eh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I'm doing pretty much the same thing. I bought I had my old ute, and it wasn't going to suit long term on this, so I bought my old uncle's ute.
Yeah.
And kind of just rearranged the boiler making kind of toolboxes, and then we made it into a practical living little truck and just cruising. So then, like, did you think that going into pubs or whatever was the going to pay your way? Like, was that your mindset? Were you just there, I'm travelling and I'm just going to bask, or like?
Yeah.
How did the music come into your travel?
I didn't have any plan for it, so if I rocked up to a place and I could sing for my supper or get my campsite for free or just something, that was going to be a bonus. But if not, I was passing through anyway, so that's what I was going to be doing. So the main goal was just to be away for 12 months and to just do a complete lap around. That was, and anything else that happened along the way was just going to be a bonus. But as it turned out, there's so many caravan parks and so many people on the road. You put your hat out at the end of the night, and that pays your petrol to the next place. And so I didn't earn, I didn't make any profit that first 12 months, but it didn't cost me much at all.
Yeah, right.
Especially when you're living so cheaply out of a van and simply, and then just busking occasionally, or free food or drinks or whatever. It was a revelation, because I've always lived a simple life. Even when I was in the city, I don't need much apart from my music gear. I don't like stuff, so I could pretty much pack all my life into the van, and just wondering why I didn't do it sooner. Yeah,
I'm thinking the same thing. So what sort of style of music did you start with? Was it your Johnny Williamson, or was it your modern hits that you're doing with the acoustic style?
First stuff in a band was actually blues.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, a blues club just started in Wagga, and they had an open mic night, and that was my first time on stage, and I was so nervous. But from that grew, I got to meet a few people, and we formed a little band out of that. So my first musical on stage stuff was with an electric guitar, playing kind of blues, rock kind of stuff. So and then it's just, as bands are really hard to keep together, because people are all in different life situations. So that's eventually evolved to me just being with an acoustic guitar and having the drummer at my feet, and doing all of it myself, which it's not as fun at times. Sometimes it's hard being like the one-man show, having to carry it all by yourself. It's nice to have other people on stage to kind of share the load, but in terms of just practicality, I just have to worry about myself, and when you do get paid, you only have to split it one way. It's really nice. So I mean, there are compromises, but when I record, it's normally with other people. So my recordings sound like a full band, but live I just try and carry it off myself. So.
And when did the kids' songs come into the repertoire?
Last year, I think it was, or maybe the year before, because the demographics in the travelling people are changing. Like, it used to be mostly grey nomads, you get a few backpackers, but the last couple of years there's so many more families just hitting the road, and it's a great experience for the kids to get out there and see Australia and meet different people, and just be in the fresh air rather than on their iPads. So I thought I like to be very inclusive of everyone. I know you can't please everyone all the time, but kids are just as important as the adults when I'm playing music. So I thought I'm going to learn a few Wiggles songs, get them included, and then I thought, well, parents have money, so why not write a kids album and see how that goes, because I've won a few little pint-sized fans over the years. So so the kids album's going pretty well. At the start of the season it was selling 3-1 to my normal one. So it's been, and it was a fun little project. It was the first time that I'd tried recording at home. So it was good to have my first project being a kids one, because there wasn't that pressure of doing a proper album or a grown-up album at home. I could just kind of experiment with sounds and stuff like that, and the response is pretty good so far.
Yeah, well, you've won a few fans last night. I couldn't believe that little kid. But as an adult, when you as a guitarist, you sit there and you're trying to appreciate the music and you're enjoying it. But I enjoyed more so just watching the kids having fun, and then everyone's laughing at how much the kids are loving it. Like, it almost gets to the point where you're the music's still good, but you're not focused so much on that. You're focused on what it's creating with the kids.
Yeah.
So, have you had many other events or nights where kids have got involved, like the kid did last night, where he's just jumped up on stage without an invitation?
That has happened before. But that completely blew me away last night. I thought he might stand out the front and do his thing. But without an invitation, he just got up on stage, and he wasn't a little idiot. He just, he's like, okay guys, I'm going to show you how to do the actions. And he just completely owned it.
Oh, it was awesome.
I got a message from his mum last night actually, and she said to me, he's normally so shy and reserved, and not in a million years did she ever think that he'd do that.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, it kind of gives me goosebumps to kind of think that I'm,
pulling someone out of the shell.
Yeah, and it's so good to see those reactions from the stage. And that's why I do it now. And my whole mindset has changed from, it used to be about me and just trying to play things perfectly or get to a certain point in my career or in the industry or whatever. But that's completely shifted now, and it's not about me, it's about the audience. And if I'm making them happy or feel something or whatever, then that just feeds back to me, and that's where I get my fulfillment now, rather than thinking it's all about me. It's about them now, and then if they're feeling it, then I'm feeling it, and then I bounce it back to them, and it's just this tennis match of good vibes. So
that's awesome. So to give a bit of context as well, you're playing Baby Shark or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you were saying that people from resort have said, nah, you can't play that because it's too annoying, because it gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And then this kid just jumps up on stage and is doing all the little actions, and everyone was loving it.
Yeah.
But what I found funny was the way you kind of encouraged him to do it in a joking way, in the sense, the future Prime Minister here and stuff. So, the Baby Shark story, why was it something that these guys didn't let you do? Is that true, or is that just a...
No, it's dead set true. The staff here, and a lot of adults in general, have a problem with that song.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's just because it gets stuck in their head.
Yeah.
But a few have told me that it triggers them in some way, which is, it's like a red rag to a bull for me. If I'm getting a reaction from someone, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So, I did get threatened that they'd reveal the ending of Game of Thrones if I kept playing it. So I was pretty quiet on the Baby Shark for a while.
Yeah.
But now I've seen how it ends. So, there's nothing to stop me now from and the kids love it. It goes for a minute and a half. and the kids, they know all the actions, and just to see their faces light up when I play it, there's no way I'm not going to do it anymore. So,
Yeah. So, from a musician's point of view, like, you've got a very nice, consistent style with a wide range of different types of songs. Like, you're playing Fried Chicken, and then you're playing like True Blue, and then Suspicious Minds, or Elvis Presley. Like, it's a very wide range.
Yeah.
When you come to start a song or learn a song, what is it that you focus on to, like, what is your style that stays the same throughout those songs? Because obviously the words are what's different, like, but you've still made it your version of the song.
Yeah.
So what is the thing that's kind of consistent through that?
I don't know. I mean, you're never going to replicate the original recording, and it sometimes scares me now when I hear the original recording of songs that I cover, especially songs I've been playing for years, and I've realised how different they are to the original now, because I've just had years and years of playing them that I've kind of put my own spin on it, whether I wanted to or not. And it's just kind of happened. So I don't know if I've got a certain, like, my own signature style that I bring to the songs, but I guess I'm limited in what I can do because I've only got a guitar and my stomp box and harmonica. So
and your little tambourine on your foot.
Yeah, that's a new addition this year, just to, add a bit of extra colour.
Yeah.
So yeah, the biggest thing for me is just to get the lyrics down. And I mean, and just try and work it so that it actually works as one person playing it. So I might have to change the tempo, or change the key, or just do something that then suits what I'm doing, but also have it still sound really cool. So,
yeah, I thought that Suspicious Mind was probably the best I've heard it played outside of the Elvis original.
Yeah.
Like, that was awesome. Really enjoyed it. But then, so you've got you're naturally a bit more of a higher pitched singer as well.
Yeah.
So what kind of key do you generally play in?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Because you obviously have to transpose a little bit.
Yeah, that's where a capo comes in handy. So yeah, I don't do a lot of. I know enough music theory to get me by, but generally I just go with what sounds good.
Just by your ear, and just like, oh, that sounds like it's right. Or okay. That's cool.
And it's the same with my songwriting too. Like, I've only got a limited palette of chords normally that I draw upon, but you can write a lot of songs with 3 chords.
Yeah, well, look at all the classics.
Yeah.
Well, what was that band that did the 3-chord song or something?
That's right. Yeah, the Axis of
Awesome or something.
Axis of Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like, there's so many pop songs. There is a formula for those kind of pop songs that those 4 chords work together so well. They just sound really good. There must be some scientific basis in it.
Yeah.
But to the human ear, they just sound so good together, and that's why people have hit songs, I guess.
Yeah. And so, when you wrote "Living the Dream," can you tell us a bit of the story? Because you were saying last night that it didn't take you very long to write it.
Yeah.
What were the circumstances around that? Because obviously that's what I'm doing now. I'm driving around the country and living the dream.
Yeah.
So tell us the scenario around it.
That's the song that's resonating with most people, especially up here, because they're living the dream. The main seed was planted just through meeting people in that first 12 months of travelling around, because you talk to people, and by a lot of older travellers' standards, I was quite young to be doing what I was doing, and I was saying they only wish that they had been doing what I was doing at my age, and they said I was living the dream and you got to write a song about it. And I'd always thought living the dream was just a bit of a cliche, and I didn't think too much about it. But then I had a couple of days in Albany, I think it was, and wet days, and I could only just sit in my van with my guitar, and I was just reflecting on how much my life had changed from this 9 to 5 to now living in a van. It was just wet, and I was in this small space in the back of a car with my guitar, but I was the happiest that I'd ever been.
Yeah.
So I was just reflecting on my new life, how I came from the 9 to 5 to hitting the road, all the things I saw. Like, I mentioned in the song, I saw sunsets over the sea, and that was at Mindle Beach. I'd never seen the sunset over the water before because I'd always been on the East Coast. And but also at that point I was feeling a bit homesick because it's the longest I'd ever been away from family and friends. Especially in WA, you do feel the isolation from the rest of the country and the world. So I was reflecting a little bit on that and saying, well, home's where the heart is. Wherever you're feeling it, that's home. And yeah, just living the dream.
That's awesome. Oh man! So then, when you were traveling, what were the places that stood out that you just enjoyed? Like, it's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Whenever I get asked it or I ask other travellers, they're always like, "Oh man, there's so many good spots in Australia to check out." So are there any places that just hold awesome memories? So like Albany, you wrote that song, but any other places that just really enjoyed visiting or checking out?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I learned that it's less about the place and more about the people. That's the lasting memory for me. Like, you could here at Lake Argyle, it's beautiful. Like, everywhere you look, it's just like a postcard. But for me, and my enduring memories will be of the people that I've met here and the experiences I've had. So, I mean, Coral Bay, that was a standout for me. I just thought that was, just the clear water, and you could see fish and all sorts of ocean life without having to go, miles out to into the ocean. So that was a highlight. Then I went up to far north Queensland, a place called Undara, where they have the lava tubes up there, and sang around a campfire for 2 weeks. And that was a cool experience. That was where I really started to hone my craft as a performer, not just some guy that gets up and sings songs. I actually had to interact with people because they were sitting literally right next to me, so it'd be a bit awkward if I didn't, talk to them between songs. So, and I met some great people there. Kings Canyon was a standout. I went to Uluru, and that was amazing to see Uluru, but I had no expectations about Kings Canyon, and that just blew me away. Yeah, Darwin, I love the vibe of Darwin, just so laid back, and people from all walks of life, just sort of in this melting pot of,
It's funny you mentioned Uluru because I played John Williamson's Raining on the Rock there, and that was just like a dream ever since I heard his song. I was like, I'm going to learn this song and I'm going to sit at the sunset viewing deck and play it with it in the background. And it was one of the coolest things I've done, just chilling out and playing it. I can't sing though, I sound terrible, so I rely on the guitar. But Kings Canyon though, it's an interesting. I really enjoyed Kings Canyon as well, just because it's so big, but you don't hear about it because it's so in close proximity to the Olgas and Uluru, which are the iconic things. So then you're talking about the people, and now a lot of your songs, well, your funnier songs, were involving individuals that you named and shamed on stage. Can you tell us a bit about that sort of story? You've obviously worked here long enough to be able to not only know the people to write the song, but to then humiliate them in front of people and get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pick your targets wisely. But most of the people that work here have a really good sense of humour. So we've got Hot Jared that works here. And yeah, I mean, he's only young, but to see him grow as a person the last couple of years, for him to be able to, be dragged onto the dance floor by a bunch of kids and just, accept it with good humour. It's good to see, a young guy kind of mature in that way, and to be able to laugh at yourself. I think that's the biggest, thing you can have is to just not take yourself so seriously. And it's good for the mind if you can just laugh at yourself or just see the humour in something. So the staff know me pretty well, and I'm a keen observer of people. So I know what's going on, even if people aren't talking to me. I just observe and pick up character traits and little bits and pieces. And I don't think at the time that it's going to fuel a song, but then when inspiration hits, I've just got all these things to draw upon. So so we've got the Hot Jared song. He that's pretty funny, and it gets the guests involved as well. So it puts a smile on their faces, and they have a bit of banter with Jared when he's handing out plates and all that sort of stuff. So it's just to kind kind of enhance that friendly, happy, humorous vibe. So and that song came about because Jared was at me last year to write a song about all the staff members, and I wasn't going to do that. I rarely do what I'm told. I'll do it, but I'll just put a bit of a twist on it. So I thought I'm going to write a song just about Jared, and all of a sudden, Hot Jared was born. The rest is history.
Yeah, okay. And what about like Double Dick Derek? Who's that?
Derek is not a staff member here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Derek. That came about from a night here, having a few drinks with the staff, and a picture was circulated about, with a guy with two dicks, and we all thought it was very funny. But the staff often come to me after something funny has happened and saying, when are you going to write a song about something or other? So of course after that night they asked me when I was going to write a song about a guy with two dicks. So yeah, I kind of like, I've never written a love song before, like a proper love song. I've written songs about missing people or not being in love or that sort of thing, and I thought, well, it'd be quite funny if I could maybe write a love song that incorporated this guy with two dicks. So, I mean, the sentiment is quite lovely. He finds his perfect match in the end. And I mean, that song, I think that song, it will be the one that I'm remembered for. whether I like it or not. It's the one that just people always request. They sing along to it, and it's just one of those things.
Yeah, right. And like, obviously you have your kids around and all that. Have you deliberately tried to make it so it kind of goes over their heads? Or is it just the way that it all panned out?
It's just how it panned out, because I didn't intend on singing it in public at all. It was just meant to be for the staff members. And then one night, maybe I'd had a couple of drinks on stage and got a bit brave and just sang it in front of the general public. And they loved it so much that I thought, oh, maybe there's something in this. And then I got brave and just kept singing it. And haven't stopped singing it since. So... and that's the good thing about singing it up here in the Kimberley too. People are a lot more relaxed and open, and just have a bit more of a sense of humour. Because I've tried that song a few times on the East Coast, and people are a bit more stuffy, and they tend to have lost their sense of humour a bit. Whereas up here, I can have kids this high and singing this song about a guy with two dicks, and the parents are going, yeah. So that's another reason why I love playing up here, because I can get away with that, and it's not crass. Like, there's no swearing in it or anything. It's just and I know what's coming towards the end of the song, and just to see people's faces, they're like, and then they just break out in laughter. It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you're not here on the dry season, what are you doing?
These days, not a lot. I'm based in Hervey Bay over summer, so I normally write and record. And just spend a lot of time at the beach. People. Well, it feels as though I'm bragging when people ask me what my life is like now. But when I get sick of the fresh water here at Lake Argyle, I head to the saltwater in Hervey Bay. When I get sick of the saltwater, I come back here to the freshwater.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, it's just funny how things have worked out. I mean, I worked reasonably hard after uni for 10 years. I didn't know what I was working towards, but now that's given me the freedom to do what I do now. Yeah. So, so that's generally what I do over summer, and I just kind of process what's gone on in the last 12 months and try and make some new songs out of it. And I do a few gigs here and there, but because I'm working so much while I'm up here, there's not that pressure to really be doing that many gigs over summer.
It's obviously awesome life. Like you said, you wrote the song "Living the Dream" for a reason. Financially speaking, were you that 10-year period where you were working, was that what allowed you to do it, or were you able to kind of say, I'm content living on a small amount, or how did that all come about, in the sense of, because financially you're only working a smaller portion of the year, etc. You're above water, obviously.
That first 10 years, I saved and saved and saved. Like, I lived with mum and dad till I was 28. And I was on a pretty good wage at the university, and I didn't know what purpose I was saving my money for, but I just knew that at some point it was going to come in real handy. So whereas a lot of people do it the other way around, they travel and or have kids or whatever in their earlier life, and then they settle down and work towards paying off a house or whatever they want to do. Whereas I've done it the other way around. I've worked really hard for that first 10 years when I was younger, and now I'm kind of living that life where I can travel and I've got freedom.
And you're still fit enough to kind of go and enjoy the sights and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, fitness is a big thing for me too, is to stay fit. Like I love exercising, I love yoga and meditation, and now I've got the free time to be able to dedicate that to myself as well. Whereas if you're stuck in a 9 to 5 trying to pay off a mortgage, it's probably hard to try and balance your health and well-being as well as work.
Yeah.
So I mean, music wise, in terms of income from my CDs and stuff, if I'm lucky, I break even, like with recording costs and manufacturing costs and stuff like that. If I'm lucky, I'll sell enough in order to cover those costs. I don't actually make a profit at this stage on my music, and that's not going to get any better now with streaming, because I don't earn a lot from streaming. And I mean,
or
CDs,
like through Spotify or something.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of money there unless you're Ed Sheeran or Adele. But then I need to look at other creative ways of merchandising, like if it's double Dick Derek t-shirts or stubby coolers or whatever, to try and be a bit smarter in that regard. So
and then like here you're on just like a standard job wage kind of thing while you're here.
But because I live so simply, unless
don't need much.
I don't. And I eat quite simply. Like I have the same breakfast and the same lunch most days.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
Like the effort to think about something new is just almost too much.
And I figure I'll change what I'm eating, if I get sick of it. And people often say to me, "Oh, don't you get sick of the same thing?" It's like, no. I still wake up every morning and want my porridge with my banana. Yeah. It's just how I roll. Never got sick of it. So I don't need a lot unless it's music gear. I don't like possessions, so I don't need a lot of money to survive. Yeah. So and I mean in Australia too, if you've got somewhere, like if you've got a van or something, you can get around pretty cheaply and free camp and
for sure. This is probably one of the very rare times that I've paid for camping, and I've been going since March. And if you're not doing too many kilometres in the year, you could comfortably live with less than 10 grand expenses.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Which is to me now, I'm looking at it like, why didn't I do this earlier? Like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. But now I'm in the position that that people were talking to me, because like for me, you're so young to have made that realization. Like you've got your whole life ahead of you. So it's awesome that you've discovered it so early. Really, you think it's late, but
all my life I grew up thinking, I want to drive around the country. Like it's always been, as kids we went camping every school holidays and that. So it was always just a matter of, okay, once I've got enough money saved up, I'm doing it. And now I'm sitting there thinking, why would I stop? If I meet someone and you settle down, sort of thing. But other than that, it's like, stuff it. Keep going.
But that's the thing, you don't know how much it's going to cost or how much you're going to enjoy it until you actually take that chance and do it.
Yeah.
So and that can be a massive thing, to just take that final leap, because it's really into the unknown. It's completely different from the lifestyle you've known. I used to worry, it's like, if I do something different, what if it's not as good as what I was doing? And that's, I mean, I'm starting to wrestle with that a little bit now, because I'm on a great wicket here, what I'm doing, playing 5 nights a week for half the year. But I do wonder whether I'm too comfortable at times now, whether I should be challenging myself. So those sort of thoughts are creeping up now, and wondering whether I should be brave again and take that chance and do something different. But I'm loving what I'm doing so much that and I'm quite comfortable. and I'm making a lot of people happy. So
Yeah.
I mean, what more could you want, really?
That's it. Yeah. Well, like I said, I've gone and seen a few performances, but aside from the top of the Wazza people, I haven't seen a small crowd get so into it.
Yeah.
Like I went and saw John Williamson at the beginning of the year, and that was like, you got every generation in the room. You got the kids who are all singing his songs. You got the oldies that know all of his oldies as well. Like, and everyone's loving it.
Yeah.
But then, like, you got all your old songs, you got your kids' songs, and everyone's loving it as well. So, yeah, I think you've done something pretty special. Have you ever done stuff where you don't sing and you just finger pick, maybe do a bit of Tommy Emmanuel style finger picking, or is has singing always been the passion, or has the guitar been the passion? If you know what I mean.
The songs have always been the passion. I did a wedding a couple of weeks ago, and I did. For about an hour or so, just background kind of guitar-y stuff with no vocal, which is always nice when you're not having to coordinate feet and voice and hands all together. Yeah, for me, it's just a song, whether it's instrumental or has lyrics, or it's just just something that makes you feel something, whether it makes you laugh or cry or dance or want to punch someone in the face. You know, if it's making you feel something, that's the draw card for me. It's one of those unknown quantities. Like, there's something magical about music. Like, you can be as trained as possible, but some people just can't write songs. They can have all the musical knowledge and ability, but some people can't write songs, and the other way around. Like, I know that I'm very basic in what I know and can do, but I'd much rather spend my time into writing songs than, shredding, learning how to shred on a guitar, because it's all about, for me here at least, it's all about communicating with people and having a connection. And you don't need to be Tommy Emmanuel, as you saw last night, to be able to entertain people.
Yeah, I wish I could sing. Like that, it'd make my trip so much easier as well, just being able to play a bit more often and not be like sitting there quietly just mumming it to yourself.
But singing's often about confidence too.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm the best singer in the world, but if you're confident about it, it's amazing what you can fool people into believing.
I feel like I'm tone deaf. Like if I'm ever in, like when I'm in church or something, and you just feel sorry for the person next to you, like just they're all doing their perfect pitch changes, and you're just there like. Yeah. So, like, have you got any advice then for people that are trying to pick up things? Like, I'm trying to learn the harmonica while I'm driving around, but like people that have got the ability, lack of confidence, any kind of advice that you say, I just do this and you might push in the right direction?
Just practice and don't give up. Like, even incidental practice. Like, if you're wanting to learn a harmonica, just get a harmonica rack and stick it around your head while you're driving, and just keep blowing. And because it's like when I was a young fella, I used to love the cricket, so I'd be watching the cricket but also have the guitar beside me, and I'd just be noodling away, and you don't think that you're practicing, but you're still getting that feel for the guitar. And a lot of that incidental stuff that you don't think is making any difference does make a difference. So I think you've just got to, it's just time and effort, and you've got to have the passion and motivation to do it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, I don't know, I'm probably a bit hard line when it comes to things where people say they want to do stuff, but I kind of feel as though if they really wanted to do it, they'd be doing it.
Yeah.
I want to be a musician, I want to record songs, I want to write, so I just, get my shit together and do it. Like, for me, it's not that hard, but some people lack that extra bit of, I don't know if it's confidence or motivation or whatever. But for me, it's just practice, practice. And if you love doing it, then it's not a chore. So that's the only advice. And in terms of performing in front of other people, it's just exposing yourself, like just doing it. Because back when I first started playing here, I was so nervous that I hardly spoke between songs. But having done it a million times now, you saw last night how the music is almost secondary to the in-between song banter and stuff. So I've completely flipped it from being a musician to being an entertainer now, and the music is just my vehicle to entertain.
Yeah, okay.
So, but that only comes through confidence and practice. So
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Well, I'm pretty much out of questions, but how can people, like, what's your website or Instagram or Facebook? How people can keep on up to date with what you're up to?
Steve Case Music. Yeah, so that's where I'm at on Instagram. I don't use that all that often. Facebook, I do post updates semi-regularly. But yeah, that has all my links to iTunes and Spotify and Apple and all that sort of stuff. So check out Double Dick Derek. But I do have other songs apart from that. But yeah, hit me up with any questions or if you've seen a show or love a song, because it's always nice to get that feedback and validation. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks, mate. I really appreciate the chat.
Thanks for the chat.
That's a better handshake than last
Yeah, it is.